Hey, Phil from Got Memories. In this video, the importance of exercising videotapes. So when tapes have not been played or even ran, whatever, in 20, 30, 40 years, they get sticky. There's problems that can come up. So when I get tapes in, I always exercise them. So even people go, oh, I've rewound all my tapes, give me a better deal. I'm like, no, they're rewound. I fast forward them and then rewind them. If they're all the way at the end, I run them back and forth a couple times just to kind of exercise them. It does help with alleviating a lot of problems. So I am, and I use old defunct players as well for rewinding, fast forwarding, etc. Like this one right here, this one hasn't rewound all the way. Like, what's going on? So you've got to monitor these, make sure they rewind, because I'll put 5 out of 100 tapes, you think that they're rewound, and then you look and they haven't. And that's why people get missing footage, on transfers and stuff, is because they're not looking at the tape to see. And on some tapes, it's hard to see. But on the left-hand side is all, that's the rewound. There's a bit there, and you just go, oh, it's rewound, put it in the player. No, it's not. It's got, probably 3-4 minutes of stuff on there. So, but anyway, I am taking all these tapes, even though they have been rewound. It doesn't mean anything. I don't pop them in the player. I fast forward them and then rewind them again. Just kind of exercise them, because they haven't been exercised in decades, if ever. And then it does alleviate a lot of problems. And also, if there are problems, it'll happen in the rewinding, fast forwarding, and the exercise process. So then, it helps you figure out what's going to be a pain in the ass problem versus which ones are okay. Any little thing that you can do, any little trick that you can do, so when it's transferring, it's not going to cause problems. Like the big thing with video 8, high 8 is, you hear the beeping, the beep, 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 beep. It's like on other videos, and then it'll flash like a little yellow, like eject sign. And that could be a problem with the camera, it could be a problem with the tape, but sometimes those problems can be alleviated by exercising them, running them back and forth. If they've got sticky shed syndrome, which is getting more and more common, especially if people have left them in the garages, attics, the most uncommonsensical storage locations, then they start to shed, and there's moisture, and the backing of the tape is sticking to the top of the tape, and it sheds like a piece of like packing tape, when you got to pick it. Anyway, that's an absolute nightmare. All of it's a nightmare. That's all I get in now, obviously, because my YouTube channel, I'm talking about problems and redoing work from other companies and salvaging and restoring stuff that other companies have just like thrown their hands up, or people have tried themselves. They've got non-stop problems. They go to YouTube, they see my videos, and then I take on board all of these problems. And I'm charging a fair rate, but this is extremely time consuming stuff to do correctly, because these tapes had a shelf life of 5 to 10 years before problems arise. That doesn't mean that there's, they're 5 years old and they're done. Doesn't mean they're 10 years old. They could be 40 years old and look great, but you don't know that until you start to run them. And even if you rewind and fast forward and put them in a player, and people just look at the picture and go, oh, see, it's fine. Yeah, that's 5 seconds of information you've just seen on the screen. Let's say how it does for the next 8.5 hours, because you recorded it in super long play from multiple camcorder tapes onto a defunct, dirty-headed VCR using the cheapest VHS tape that you got from the bottom shelf Walmart in 1993, and you've stored them in amazing places, but it's cheap crap tape. If you've got high quality, high fidelity tapes that you spent good money on, that helps. But nothing really, I can't tell anything until it starts to unfold. It's second by second, and that's why you have to monitor everything. Supervised transfers, okay, versus unsupervised. Unsupervised are pretty much the mainstream in every transfer company, where they just put it in, they hit play, and they're like, sweet, I'm going to lunch. And then it all goes to crap. They then, create the file, and there's static, audio missing, jumpy picture, all these usual problems. The tape is stopped or jammed, half of the tape's missing, but they're like, no, your tape's the problem, it's not us. Well, there's half truth in that. But if you're paying the correct rate and not this cheap jack pricing, which is fake pricing, it is just a false economy, then yeah, unsupervised is the norm. But you have to have eyeballs on every single monitor and be scanning the room. And if they see anything, oh, mix cam, fuck.